So if you don't know by now, this is Johnathan Majors. Marvel Studios drops Johnathan Majors following a guilty verdict for harassment and assault. And so there's multiple articles out there about the end result of his recent trial court case regarding his girlfriend. So I'm going to say what I'm going to say, that I don't know if I should say is or was. Okay, he is a great actor. And he was doing a lot of great acting work. However, now that has changed in the recent events that have taken place, and it is hitting all over social media, airwaves, and possibly television news of his situation that is happening right now. So Marvel Studio has parted ways with Johnathan Majors, the actor cast to play Kang, the central antagonist in a multiverse saga of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, after he was convicted on December 18, 2023. So this is fairly recent. This was of 2 misdemeanor counts of harassment and assault of Grace Jabari, his ex-girlfriend. A source close to the studio confirmed the decision to Variety magazine, an outlet. So in the verdict, Majors was also found not guilty of 1 count of intentional assault in the 3rd degree and 1 count of aggravated harassment in the 2nd degree. The actor was arrested on March the 25th on assault and harassment charges after Jabari accused Majors of assaulting her in the backseat of a private car after she took his phone to read a text message that he received from another woman. Jabari alleged that Majors forcefully retrieved the phone from her, causing an excruciating injury to her right middle finger. And when she exited the car, Majors hit her on the back of her head and then tried to force her back into the car, causing a cut behind her right ear. So it goes on to read that 34-year-old actor denied that he had assaulted Grace Jabari. His defense team has alleged that she was the aggressor when she took his phone. During the nearly 2-week trial, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office released a series of disturbing texts between Majors and Jabari, and an audio recording that had been used as evidence, including messages in which Majors seemingly attempted to persuade Jabari against going to the hospital following a head injury, and a message in which Majors threatened suicide. So in the audio recording, Majors tells Jabari that she needs to act like Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama, because he's a great man who is doing great things, not just for me, but for my culture and the world. So since his arrest, Majors has been dropped by his talent manager, Entertainment 360, and his publicity firm, The Lead Company. He's no longer involved with the Protagonist Pictures film, The Man in My Basement. The U.S. Army also pulled a major ad campaign featuring Majors, as did the Texas Ranger baseball team. Several other projects involving Majors, including Spike Lee's The Understudy for Amazon and the Dennis Rodman film 48 Hours in Vegas for Lionsgate, remain in limbo. But Marvel's decision to sever the ties with the actor registers as the most high profile professional consequence of Major's arrest and now conviction to date. He first played a version of the multiverse hopping villain Kang in the season finale of the 2021 Disney series Loki, an episode that established the primary storytelling engine for the Marvel Cinematic Universe moving forward, and Major's character as the pivotal figure at the heart of it. So Marvel established boundless versions of Kang across the multiverse. Majors was meant to embody all of them, a premise that was first explored in Marvel's February feature release, Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania. So the actor subsequently played a variant of Kang named Victor Timely in season 2 of Loki, which streamed on Disney Plus in the fall. Production on the series concluded months before his arrest, so Majors was next set to headline the first part of the climatic conclusion to the multiverse saga Avengers. The Kang Dynasty, which was originally expected to start shooting early 2024. In June, Marvel pushed the film's release from 2025 to 2026. So, out of this magazine, The Variety, and social media outlet The Variety has reported that the Marvel executives, led by studio chief Kevin Feige, discussed the possibility of having to pivot away from Kang to focus on another major villain. So now, with Major's departure official, Feige and his team have some formidable creative decisions ahead, including whether to recast a new actor as Kang or cancel it altogether, the Kang Dynasty, outright, and reconfigure the remainder of the multiverse saga. The interconnected nature of the Marvel Cinematic Universe means that whatever Marvel decides to do could have some pricey repercussions at a time when its parent company Disney has entered a far more cost-conscious era. So the career fallout for Majors could be even more severe. So he began 2023 as one of the most in-demand actors in the industry, co-headlining Creed 3 with Michael B. Jordan and earning wide acclaim out of the Sundance Film Festival for his performance in the bodybuilding drama Magazine Dreams. Searchlight Pictures, another Disney subsidiary, picked up the later film as a prospective awards contender for release in December, but the company quietly pulled the film from its calendar in October. It does not yet have any release date. So that is pretty much this article, and there are multiple articles all over having to do with Major and Grace, their situation as the couple that they were. So this is really sad news to hear. Such a great actor, and now his career is turned upside down because of this incident. And so this just recently came out, and I know other people are probably reporting on it, and I decided to report on it because I really enjoyed the movies that he was in, and I was really looking forward to seeing him in more films. However, this situation probably changed his life forever. I'm hoping that maybe he can redeem himself, but what I was reading earlier in some earlier articles involving Johnathan Majors is that since he has been convicted, there is possible chance that he may go ahead and have his legal team to try to appeal the conviction or appeal and try to see if he can get out of this situation, out of this trouble. And then also that if he is to serve time, it is a year for the assault charges that he has on him. So now my personal view of this is separate from the article, and it's my opinion. I was looking recently at a documentary involving Johnny Depp and the Amber Heard situation, and I noticed that Johnny Depp, in the last proceedings of his trial, he didn't even really show up. I believe he wasn't there, and he had so much support and outpouring for his situation. And I also saw where whenever someone would side with Amber Heard, they would be pummeled verbally on the internet and off several media sites. From what I was looking at, it looked like it was both ways, that the situation between the two of them, this is a marriage and it turned into an ugly divorce, and it seemed like it was going back and forth on both sides. But the sad part of the whole thing is that Johnny Depp, he won. He came out more victorious than Amber Heard, and he can go on with his acting career, and he's not having to be locked behind bars, even though Amber Heard, you see that she was showing that she had some bruising and some, I guess, some fighting took place. There was back and forth between the two of them. And he didn't have to really serve any time. And I'm going to add this in there. They're a white couple. And I feel like because Johnny Depp has a lot of history in Hollywood and he has more skin in the game, so to speak, he just came out so victorious. And Amber Heard, she was just pretty much pummeled. She was already viewed as being a liar, deceiving, and she had so much vitriol hate online. It was sickening. And you could see clearly that there was something going on that was back and forth between the two of them. Now, bringing it to this situation here, you're looking at Johnathan Majors. You don't see a whole lot of footage. You do see some footage of what happened, and there is some things that happened between the two of these people, boyfriend and girlfriend. They weren't married, they lived together. He's African American or black. I don't know that he's American, because so many people phrase themselves for a different part of the culture. But his girlfriend is Caucasian, And it just seems, though, that she was the one that came out as the victor in this situation. And I know what you're going to say, but I have to be honest about this. And I'm not trying to say that um, people who are in a domestic abuse situation, and primarily if it's females, that they should be, treated as a liar, or you have to double check their statements, or you have to see if they're really telling the truth or forthright. But there are some dynamics to this here. Johnathan Majors is black, and he gets really high up into his career, and he's starting to feel himself, and that's what we say in our culture, where you get really popular, you come into money and popularity, and you start to get this big ahead. And what they used to do, I know back in the times when there were a lot of sports jocks that were like high up on the pedestal, um, back in the 80s, and then this is before Kobe and Shaq, they tended to get a white woman when they reach a certain point in their careers. And that sort of showed, we've made it, or we're making it, and we're up there. But I noticed that when OJ did the same thing. OJ had a situation where his wife, in the beginning that he was with, she was black, and there was domestic violence, and you didn't really hear much about that. But when it was Nicole Simpson, it was all over the news, it was all over TV, it was all in the paper, and it made her look like she was just the total victor, and also the one that was the victim. And clearly, she is no longer here, and OJ is here. He's black. What OJ did is he kind of pulled himself and distanced himself from the black community. And so, by him putting out videos and, kind of making himself look like, he put out a video, I believe, that made him look like suspicious that he might have had something to do with what happened to Nicole and Ronald Bowman. It did not sit well with any community, whether it be the white community, Caucasian community, however you want to say it, the black community as well. And then by him getting into so much trouble, they watched him like a hawk. The Johnny Depp and Amber Heard situation, it's like Johnny Depp, he's white, he came out the victor. He came out victorious. He has skin in the game. He's been in Hollywood. He had all these women that were siding with him, all these males that are pretty much, I feel like there's patriarchy going on with that as well. We live in an American society where it's patriarchal, it's about patriotism, and it's also about dominance over women, even women who are domestic abuse survivors, so to speak. People will use that trope. Do they need to use that trope? I'm a domestic violence survivor. If they're just looking for the money and the fame and the fortune to be with this guy that has a real great career and he's going up the ladder, he happens to be black, you lay your hands on these white women, you will have your name in lights. You will lose your career and everything in between. I have to say that, again, you will lose everything. Hadn't you looked at what happened to Cosby's situation? I mean, not saying that they don't deserve the punishment for the crime or whatever it is that they commit. But what I'm saying is that when you are a black man in America, you are going to be drug in the mud. And if you are a woman in America and you are domestic abuse survivor. You could possibly also be drug in the mud. And I'm saying that in regard to Amber Heard because her career just doesn't seem like it came out as, you know, victorious as Johnny Depp. He can go back into showbiz, do whatever it is that he was doing and not be touched. Amber Heard, not so sure. She's looked at as a liar. She's looked at as all the bad names you could call, negative, derogatory names you could call a woman. Even though she's a white woman, she is a woman at the end of the day. Now, with the situation with Johnathan Majors and his girlfriend, she's a white woman with a black man, and he's looked at as a true villain. And I have to be honest, skin color and race has a lot to do with this situation as well, even though it doesn't escape the fact that he has fault in this with what he did to the girlfriend. So I have to say it with this situation also I feel it's a back and forth thing. But also with him, when you get to a place in life and you know that you're doing victorious things, when it comes to your career, you got to be careful who you're getting involved with. So notice that he quickly switched from white girlfriend to black girlfriend, Megan Good. And she happened to be somebody that is in Hollywood and that is a little more known. I don't know about this girlfriend, Grace Jabari. I believe maybe she has some ties to Hollywood as well. But the fact that she's white, she came out as the victor in this. She didn't come out like Amber Heard did because her man is black versus Amber Heard's man is Johnny Depp and he's white and he's got skin in the game. If you get where I'm coming from on this, I know some people are going to be like, well, Amber Heard, she's a liar and she's this and she's that. But you know what? Her career, her life is forever changed because of what happened with her and Johnny Depp. You've seen videos of him throwing cans and breaking things and cussing her out. And, he's passed out in a stupor from alcohol, drugs. He's not the only one. I'm sure other people in Hollywood have done the same thing. It depends on your race. It depends on your gender. It depends on who you know. It depends on how much skin in the game you have in Hollywood and when you're in these relationships. And when you look at it, they're people that you see that you kind of idolize or you view them as great actors and actresses in these films, and they sort of are like role models. And then if you look at the gender and the race and whatever everything else aside, then you look at, wow, there's little black boys that look up to you. They see Creed or they see you as these great figures in TV and movie. You're representative of a culture, and not only that, you're also representative of, the American, actors. And now his life is going to be forever changed because of this incident. And so, what do you think? I just feel like, still, even though I'm not trying to say that he didn't have a fault in this, but definitely his race. He did not get the Johnny Depp treatment, if you get what I'm saying. He did not get the same treatment as Johnny Depp. And so you see who we are in America and what our views are. And the court of public opinion is just as crucial and heavy handed as the gavel in the legal system. And so when you look at these allegations and these alleged allegations that were made upon him, you see that there is no escaping it. And race does play a part, gender plays a part. There's a lot that plays a part in all of these cases, these court cases. And so these relationships, these Hollywood relationships, Trust me. I mean, we had the incident with Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, and all of the drama that comes out about their relationship. Now I'm hearing things about Cardi B and Offset that they've split, which I'll be honest with you, I don't think he was really the settle down type, Offset. I mean, he's had numerous occasions that he's actually dipped out on Cardi. So I don't even know why. And I'm just saying this why she married him. She probably had a lot of feelings for him. Him, on the other hand, having the same for her, he probably has feelings, but he's not ready to settle down, clearly, as you see from his behavior. And I'm going to say it that way. She's ready to settle down, but he isn't. So, with this situation, is not a marriage. They were in, I would say, a relationship where they lived together, boyfriend, girlfriend. This guy, he's on the rise in his career, and then he's with this girlfriend, and it sounds like she was jealous, and she was always suspicious of him getting with some other female. Look at who you're looking at. Johnathan Majors, he's on the rise, he's popular. Young men, young women, when you get to this stature, you got to watch who your circle, your inner circle, and your inner workings, and who you're getting involved with before you do. Because as you go to the top and you rise all the way up to fame, you can be meeting someone, they could bring you up and you could have a beautiful life together, or you could have somebody come into your life and they can bring you down and you can have a terrible life together behind closed doors, and you will go down in flames and your career will go down with you in flames, and it will forever change your life, and you will never have that victorious career that you were striving or that you worked so hard for. So I really am saddened to hear this news. I'm not trying to say that he didn't do what he did, but what I'm saying is you also got to take into account that he is a black man at the end of the day, and he did not get the Johnny Depp treatment.